Gonna keep working. That's more what we wanted to show you. That's a little more what we wanted to show you. I don't know. I was planning to do some stretching. Planning to do some stretching for you this morning. Because I know you guys love when I stretch. I know you love when I stretch. But I don't know. What do they say? The best made plans are not laid in stone. Good morning, Linda Myers. How are you? Good morning, Wanda. Good morning, RJ. Sitting on kind of a little dirt walking trail right next to some signs that say, warning, don't touch the wildlife or be careful. Gonna give you a quick scan of where I'm at. Sun rising in the east. Imagine. Thank you, Linda. Sun rising in the east above the mountains. Gonna do. I hear a little dog yapping in a car driving by. There's the little cute gas station across the way. The grill and the dining room. Quick tour where I'm at. The hot springs are over here. I think there's hot springs all over this area, but the official hot springs that you walk and tour, and that tourists come from all over the world to go experience. I'm going to try my best here, because again, that's all we can do. But I'm struggling a little bit with my setup this morning. I got two loose rocks, and I didn't want to lay the phone right on the dirt lest it, I don't know, mess with the sound. Feeling a little strive for perfection. That'll be as good as we get. But good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. It is Friday morning. I believe it's June 21st. It is 8:03 Mountain Standard Time. Happy Friday. This is a little show I've been doing for quite some time. It's a show about me talking, a show about me sharing some feelings, sharing a little bit about the ups and slight internet connection. Right before my coffee toast. We getting bad internet connection? I hope we're not getting bad internet connection. I thought I'd mix it up a little bit and come at you from a different angle. I could go back to my normal spot with a bench where I'm not sitting in the dirt. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your time off. Thank you. But anyway, I'm excited to have my first sip of coffee. And again, I hope wherever you are, whatever you're doing, that you got a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Cheers to us. Oh, it's a little warmer this morning. I mean, warmer outside. It's keeping my coffee a little bit warmer. Makes me happy. Let's take another sip. Oh, it's a little later in the day than I normally do my show. Usually start my show, well, depending on my work schedule, somewhere between 5:30 and 6 o'clock. I tend to be an early riser. I rode out from Chicago to Yellowstone National Park. When did I do it? I don't know. I think I arrived 4 weeks ago today. How time flies. I wonder if time is flying quickly for you. But time does go quickly. And I arrived in Yellowstone on my scooter 4 weeks ago today, and have been working as a waiter in the dining room attached to the Mammoth Hot Springs Hotel for the last just about 4 weeks. And it's been a neat experience. It's been a good job. They provide dorm room sleeping for all their employees, and cafeteria eating as well for all their employees. And it was a neat opportunity for me to go to a place that that I'd never been before, with some beautiful scenery and some beautiful wildlife and just an interesting setting. I was thinking about it on the walk over. There's two types of people that live here. And it's interesting. Let's see, what drove that scooter all the way from Chicago? No interstates. Yeah, I drove the scooter all the way. I'm struggling seeing. Would you guys mind if I went mobile? I think if I was set up, we might lose connection, but bear with me. We're going to go back. I tried to mix it up a little bit, tried to make it fun, but I'm hunched over. My neck's got a little soreness in it. I could probably get you a better angle where you couldn't not just be looking up my nose, you could be maybe enjoying the sights and sounds of Yellowstone. Maybe we'll go like that for a little while. Again, I'm walking along a path between the hot springs, back towards the hotel, in the cabin area, in the dining room, and the place where most of the tourists and employees alike stay. Walking along one of the probably 3 main roads in Yellowstone right now. Got the day off today and tomorrow. All the employees, or at least I certainly do, work a 5-day schedule, and we all have our regular 2 days off. And my 2 days off seem to be Fridays and Saturdays, and it's given me the freedom, and let me tell you, the very much appreciated freedom of sleeping in this morning. I'm a 55-year-old guy who has waited tables a few times in his life and likes talking to people, but honestly doesn't have, some of the fine motor skills that are required, or maybe even the multitasking mental thought process that might be required to be the perfect waiter. Oh, that feels so much nicer. If you guys ever see me but sitting in a dirt path in a different location, go, hey, Ken, you don't have to do this. Go find yourself somewhere comfortable to sit with better Wi-Fi connectivity and go sit there. You'll enjoy it more, and it'll be better for the audience. Don Cervantes wants to know where the coffee is. Don't you worry. I would not leave the coffee behind. I might leave my ID behind, maybe even my wallet behind, and certainly my keys behind. But I had a firm grip on my coffee. So let's drink a little more now that we're sitting happily at the picnic table. Yeah, I pieced together like a little 3-rock combination. 1 rock to rest the phone on, and 2 very light rocks to be the support for my phone. Any interest in checking out Idaho? Certainly I do. It's interesting you say that. I mean, I got nothing to do today or tomorrow. I mean, when I say nothing to do, I mean, I can always think of things to do, but I have no plans for today or tomorrow. Honestly, I don't know how far Idaho is from here. I think we're pretty close. And there's a bunch of areas in Yellowstone I haven't checked out. I've ridden into Montana, but I am riding a scooter. And although it's the coolest thing to be riding in the park where the speed limits are 45 and the terrain is up and down and the roads are twisty, I would tell you, for anybody that rides a motorcycle or, motorcycle or a scooter, coming to the national parks and having a motorcycle or a scooter. My scooter's so much fun, and it's one of the things that I really enjoy doing, and one of the things I find I have the energy to do even after a long shift. Like yesterday, I did worked at the dining room, a breakfast and lunch shift, which is, you get in around 6 o'clock and you leave around 4 o'clock. And I'm not saying it's the world's longest shift or hardest job or anything like that. But for a guy that's not used to doing it, it's tiring. And my back's hurting, my body's hurting, and I'm waking up at 5:15 to do my show and then do my couple shifts at the restaurant. And it's tiring. So one of the things I have energy to do after doing that sort of thing is go for a ride. And I rode down to Gardner, Montana last night and enjoyed myself. And how long did it take? Is marijuana legal there? It is legal, I believe, in the state of Wyoming, but we're in a national park. So because of that, it is not legal at all. And I think they have a really zero tolerance policy for it. I believe some of my fellow employees got let go because of it, and it's unfortunate. But yeah, because it's a national park, they don't play around with that, and it's not legal by the federal government. Marijuana is very frowned upon here. Not saying it's not done, or not saying people don't go out of town and go across the border into Montana and go camping and have a good time, because they certainly do. But I would be wary as an employee and as a former pot smoker. You tend to take the laws kind of loosely, and because we're a federal property, or federal land, I guess, national park, they don't play around with it here, so you got to be careful. Did I grow up in Naperville? No, I grew up in Downers Grove, which is just 10 miles east of Naperville. I lived in Naperville from 2008 to 2024, roughly. And about 6 weeks ago, took off and headed out to Yellowstone to work for the season. And I'm continuing to do my coffee show. I think the subject matter changes a little bit. Before, I think my mind was really struggling with anxiety and worry and fear, because had a bunch of thoughts on my mind, and relationship issues and financial issues and housing issues, to be honest with you. And I don't know, over the last 4 weeks, I still have issues. We all still have issues. I've learned that by doing my show. We all still have issues, but my issues have certainly changed. I'm looking to occupy my time, deal with loneliness, plan for the future. So my issues are no longer anxiety or fear or what have you. But we still have them, still deal with them. I went to Downers Grove North. Somebody asked if I went to North or South, and I went to Downers Grove North. I graduated in 1986. I've grown a little facial hair for the last 4, 5, 6, 7 days, maybe. I don't even know. Might come off today. I just don't like the feeling. I mean, it might look kind of neat in the sunlight to see what would be a white beard if it was more filled. I just don't like the feeling. I don't know how people go around with those big full beards. Gives me the creeps. I bet breathing that fresh air is amazing out there. It's nice. And the fact that there's no humidity feels real good. And yeah, I don't know if it's lack of pollutants or just, again, less humidity or less atmosphere. I was joking with somebody that I was waiting on yesterday about how the sun is so much brighter up here. And maybe it's because of the lack of pollution. I guess that could be. But it's certainly because we're at least a mile plus up. And, I don't know how, but we're going through a lot. The sunlight is going through a lot less atmosphere up here, and the sky seems bluer, and the sky is brighter, and the air is crisper, and the temperature, although it was 49 degrees today when I left my dorm room and started doing my show, it's a pleasant 49 degrees, and I'm sitting here in a t-shirt, basking in the sun, almost feeling kind of warm. Well, I start a new job next week. Not as much money, but a better job, I think. Fun to go along the ride with you. Are you the one that was a young father, like 39 years old, and you were struggling, working a stressful job, and you have two young kids? Somebody just asked about, good morning there, about their, yeah, okay, well, that's cool. I do remember you. Congratulations. Yeah, I had a guy that I think was like 39 or 38 years old who was working a stressful job and had two young children, and wanted to know my thoughts, and I gave it to him, and apparently he, I don't know if he followed my advice or not, but he found a new job, and congratulations to you on the new job, and I hope it goes well for you. Yeah, so what do I have for you today? It's Friday morning. The sun is shining. Oh, I'm glad for you. I mean, it's important. You got two, I think it was two young boys. If dad's stressed, the stress is going to trickle down through the family, and you're going to have a hard time being the best dad you can for your kids if you're all stressed out and you hate the work you do every day, and life goes too quickly or too fast, I think, to hate what you do. And it's interesting. I'm out here working a lot of hours as a waiter. There's times I love it. It's a love-hate relationship. The money's pretty good, and again, the cost of living out here is really low. So I get to enjoy, having real low-cost room and board, and I am. But some shifts, and it's weird. Shifts will change. I worked a breakfast shift, and I was kind of in a bad mood, and I didn't eat my breakfast yesterday, the irony of it all. And was kind of feeling grumpy and feeling like every customer was overbearing and every employee wasn't doing their job, and was just kind of in a bad mood and was trying to be as quiet as I could so not causing any trouble. But then I took a break, had lunch, went on the lunch shift, and suddenly I felt in a good mood, and I felt like me, and was having fun being there, and felt like a good waiter again, and like I was doing a good job. Kiki, keep doing the good work, Kiki. What are all those bags for? Oh, that's awesome. You got any coffee or brownies in there? Can drop one off by me if they're good. It's my boss. My boss. Are you really 21, Kiki? Are you really 21? Are you really 21? Yeah. My direct boss, nice woman named Kiki, is 21 years old. She's been in the restaurant business since, I don't know, 14. Since she was mid-teens, and she's really good, and she's wheeling a little trolley of green bags out in front of me. I don't know where she's going for or what she's going to do with them, but she looks to be very carefully wheeling this bag. I think she's doing it wrong, honestly. I think she's going back. I know she's going backwards. I think she'd have an easier time pushing the bags forward. But I don't know. I joke with them all because I'm me, and me is a big presence. Not always a perfect presence either. And I don't know, I'll butt heads with somebody in there, and then I'll joke with them that I know they're considering promoting me to management, but I don't have any interest in managing a restaurant. I think it's got to be one of the hardest jobs out there, because I'll tell you, waiting tables is harder than people think. At least for me it is. And it's especially hard on the breakfast shift. There's a great difference between working breakfast and working lunch or dinner. Usually when people show up for lunch, or somebody said she's young enough to be my granddaughter. Perhaps, but we talked about this yesterday, and she actually made a joke. I said something, and she goes, "Oh, yeah, that's what my grandpa says." And I go, "That's a stab in the back." And she goes, "Well, Ken, it's okay. My dad's actually your exact age." So that made me feel a little better, I guess. A little better. Not all the way better. But anyway, yeah, I'm certainly the oldest waiter in there, and try my best to keep up and have a good attitude and work hard and be a good waiter. But I'm certainly not perfect. And I think for me, it's pretty stressful. I think some people handle it differently and multitask differently and can compartmentalize bringing the check and bringing the food and is this the right temperature and have I said hello to this table? And I know it sounds like a lot of minutia probably to you guys, but for somebody that's struggled with anxiety most of his life and kind of wants to be a perfectionist and make sure nobody's water is, halfway gone, there's just about 1,000 things to think of every time, every work shift. And in the breakfast shift, it's especially challenging because people come into breakfast usually aren't coming in to have a great time. They're not ordering cocktails. They're looking to be fed and have their coffee refilled and get fast service and get in and out of there quickly. And I'm a talker. I'll come in and start talking to them and asking them where they're from and what have you. And I think the breakfast shift isn't a shift to be a talker because you're moving. And that table wants cranberry juice, and that table's waiting on their bacon, and that table would like an extra side of toast. There's just a lot going on a breakfast shift. When I take an order, do I write it down or memorize it? I write it down. I think I write it down. Because a lot of times you got to refer back to it later. Plus, half the time, it sounds simple. You go in and you order 2 eggs scrambled and wheat toast and a side of bacon, and you think that's easy and the waiter should be able to memorize it. And yeah, I can maybe memorize that. But at one time I might have 15 customers that are ordering the hiker's special or the biscuits and gravy, and they want their eggs lightly poached or a soft poached, or wanted sourdough bread and wanted milk on the side, and we're waiting on a different bag of tea. And there's just, and again, for a guy that wants to be great and isn't, I joke about my daughter a lot. She's ultra competitive, even in things she's not that awesome at. And maybe she got that from me because I don't know if I'm certainly competitive. And it's kind of connected to wanting to be perfect as a waiter. I'm not, I'm really good at talking and my customers seem to really like me. But some waiters seem to handle all the stuff coming at them at once with a lot more ease than I do. I'll joke with my managers, I'm sure they enjoy it, and tell them I'm in the weeds, which is an expression for so busy that they can't handle it. Even when I have one table and I walk by slowly and I'll tell them I'm in the weeds, and they'll know I'm not. But half the time I am. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they can tell when I'm frantic. There's certainly periods of great franticness, if that's a word, in there for me. And yesterday morning, I don't even have that many customers, but I can't handle it. And that guy's asking for cranberry juice. And I was feeling grumpy. And again, then I went and had some lunch and a little more coffee. And I worked the lunch shift. And that just felt so nice. Was the story? New table start, no matter how it is. That's it. But yeah, working lunch and dinner is just a totally different experience for me. And although dinner can be frantic, I feel like a higher quality server at dinner and lunch because I get to bring my personality to it more. And it's not just like speed dating or speed serving, which breakfast seems to be. Next time you're frantic, do a Michael Jackson dance and feel better. I don't know how to moonwalk, so I don't know that I could do a Michael Jackson dance. I'm going to turn it around. There's a C-Class RV. It says Cruise America in the back, and I don't think the brand matters too much. Yesterday at lunch, I had a couple. There's another C-Class. That one looks a little longer, probably longer than I'd need. My goal right now, if I could wave a wand and create a perfect scenario for me come September, October, would be to buy, I guess I don't have to figure it out, it's just a goal and a dream right now, a C-Class RV, like 24 feet long, with relatively, I'll give you specifics, relatively low miles, built within the last 5 years. I think a ton of people bought these RVs during COVID. I know they were hard to come by, and a lot of people probably aren't using them as much, so a lot of people are trading them in or turning them in or selling them or what have you, and I think the prices are coming down, and I think you can buy a 4 or 5 year old RV with probably less than 20,000 miles for half the price of new, and for half the price of new. And if I could get a RV that's in good shape with 15,000 miles on it, that's 4 years old, for 50 grand, let's say, or 45 or 50 grand, I think that would be cool. And for me, it would be perfect opportunity, and really something I'd enjoy doing. But do any customers send the food back? Much more rarely than here than in my other restaurants. My last stint of a waiter, I was waiting tables from, 2013 to 2016 while I was a realtor. Right after my first divorce, I seemed to be kind of slow in real estate at that time. I was a realtor for 17 years, from 05 to 2022 or 2023, and waited tables at Outback Steakhouse. And Outback as a corporation had a attitude that almost what anything the customer wants, the customer got. And people would come in and order the Outback Special, which was at the time a 6-ounce sirloin with 2 sides, and it was like $9.99, and would want it medium rare or well done or whatever. And if it wasn't right, they'd send it back. And that was a policy, and I don't blame them. But it caused probably additional stress and challenge for the waiter. Where would you park your RV? Near Chicago? I don't know. That's a good question, Don. I haven't thought that far ahead. First thought, if I'm going to answer that, is southern Wisconsin. And I know my kids live in Naperville, and I want to get as close to them as possible. I don't know if there's any places to park RVs, in the western suburbs of Chicago. Haven't thought that hard. Really focused on working and having a good attitude, and loving on my kids from a distance as much as I can. But I'll bet you there's a place to park it near Chicago. And if not, I think just over the border in Wisconsin, it'd be really cool. Some little, RV park somewhere, and kind of having a quieter life, and a life where I could see my kids several times a week. And I think I'd enjoy that a lot. Shabana State Park. I drove by Shabana today. Yeah, I don't know if that's open in the winter, but who knows? I'd figure it out. And it'd be fun being able to go to all my kids' events. And Henry's saying, learn to upsell the menu and get more on the tip side. Believe me, I've got plenty of practice upselling, and I think the easiest way to upselling is just asking anyone if they'd like to add a soup or a salad with their hamburger. Honestly, and or would you like to add a soft drink or a coffee with that? And a bill that's normally $18 suddenly becomes a bill that's $22, and it doesn't sound like a big difference, but you're making 60 cents more a customer, and you deal with 50 customers a night. That's $30 a night you're making extra in tips. So I'd say I'm fairly solid on upselling, and I'm not doing it dishonestly at all. If they order, get a side salad's a great deal in there. They're big and what have you. I think it'll complete their meal. And my favorite meals at the dining room are the pork chop, the lamb, and the New York strip. And they're all some of the most expensive meals we have, but not crazy expensive. It's not a crazy expensive place. I don't think they have an entree that's $50. There's, the filet and the strip and the lamb and the pork chop are all north of 40. But, that's not much for that in these times. Shabana State Park, southeast Wisconsin. Yeah, I think Wisconsin would be super cool. I think Wisconsin, I personally, I think it's really neat here, but I was talking about it earlier. There's two types of people here, employees and tourists. And employees are one type and tourists are another. And the tourists you don't see very long, and a lot of the employees have a lot of turnover. So there's things I definitely miss about the Midwest and where I live, and Starbucks and food and my babies, most importantly, my two little ones. I woke this morning, and again, I was able to sleep in because I'm off today, which feels really, really nice. And first thing I did is I wanted to FaceTime my kids because I tried to FaceTime them last night, but my ex-wife and I try and set it up so I talk to them a couple times a day. I'm going to get teary-eyed. But I was riding my scooter after work, and she was putting them to bed a little early, and I was in a place with bad connection and wasn't able to see them last night. And they can't talk yet, but my little girl Eve is will have her second birthday about the time I come home. And she's just learning how to talk. And Augie's my little nugget of love with Down syndrome. So he doesn't quite know how to talk yet, but he sure knows how to blow kisses and hang up the phone. So I know he loves his data, but when he sees Mama FaceTiming me, all this goes, mwah, 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 and then he reaches to hang up the phone, and it's cute, but I want to tickle him and cuddle him and blow on his belly and make him laugh and do an Augie flip, which I flip him over. But anyway, that was the first thing I did this morning. I shed some tears because I missed him much. And again, I miss a lot of things about the Midwest. Trees with leaves. Trees with leaves. We got lots. Not even that many trees. I drove through eastern Wyoming. There's almost no trees in eastern Wyoming. And the trees here are beautiful, but they're evergreens. Just because, I don't know. It's the way they survive up here. I don't know how it all works exactly, but it has something to do with photosynthesis. And I miss the Midwest, and I think I feel good. And my kid's not too far away. And RJ wants to know if I miss the heat because it's been 97 the last week. I don't miss the heat at all. At all. Nor do I miss the humidity at all. So people were complaining. We had snow the other night. I was walking home from work at, close to midnight. And people were complaining, it's June and it's snowing. And I just thought it was neat. The snow's going to melt and the sun's going to return. And the snow melted and the sun returned. And it's going to be a beautiful day today. And it's a day where I don't have any plans at this point. But it is a day where I'm looking forward to having some more coffee and hopefully getting a little breakfast, taking it slow, but maybe formulating a plan and maybe hopping on my scooter and riding to another part of the park and experiencing a different area of the park. And if I enjoy it, I'll stay. Or maybe I'll look at a map and see just how close Idaho is and what I could do to go, where I could go in Idaho. Hello, Deborah. Or maybe I hear great things about the Tetons, and haven't been there yet. And I'd love to check out the Tetons and enjoy the day and enjoy the ride. And I'm looking forward to my day. I'm looking forward to my coffee. I'm looking forward to taking it slow and enjoying a couple days off. I had a great night's sleep last night. I hope you had a great night's sleep as well. I hope your week's gone well. I got a particularly chatty magpie over there squawking. Must be looking for a mate or something. I wish it would be that easy for humans. Just sit out on a table and go, bop, 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 bop. Bop, 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 bop. Bop, 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 bop. And the ladies would come running. But it's not. It's not. I might hit Canyon because it's very close. I might go to Canyon because it's very close. It's only 20 miles away. I've been to Lake Yellowstone and I've been to Old Faithful, and those are both 50 miles away. So I might go to Canyon. If there's a different way to ride, I might ride a different way, go a north way. And I think that could be neat because a lot of times, whether it's life or vacation, if you do it right, I think getting there is half the fun. And certainly when you're riding a scooter, getting there is half the fun. And might go to Canyon and check it out, and may or may not spend the night, because if it's not the right setting, it's not the right setting, and I wouldn't want to stay. But it'd be a nice place to visit, and I would like to visit some more of the destinations here in Yellowstone, and maybe take a break from my coffee shop in Gardner. But maybe I won't. Maybe I'll head there and edit some videos and read a book and do whatever it is that I do. What kind of scooter? It is a Suzuki Bergman 400. Search up Coffee with Ken and scooter, and you're going to see a bunch of videos about that, because I talk about my scooter a fair bit as well. And it's pretty cool, and it's perfect for Yellowstone and getting around on these 45-mile-an-hour twisty, turny roads up and down hills. And I'm probably going to enjoy it a little bit today. I filled up the gas tank last night, and I'm ready to ride. So anyway, want to thank you so much for joining on this Friday morning. I hope you follow my page. Hope you like my videos. Hope you enjoy my content, and hope you're enjoying your coffee. Hope you're enjoying your week. Hope you had a great night's sleep. Hope you're excited about the day. You're praying if you're stressed, and if you're sad or depressed, find a couple things you're grateful for, and do your best to move forward with a smile. And if you're feeling your emotions, it's okay to feel emotions and be down or lonely or sad, but kind of get it off your chest and express it, and those emotions will pass, and your day will go just a little bit better. But again, thank you so much for joining. I hope you have a wonderful day. Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're loving yourself. Hope you're forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.